So, Bayern Munich, we lost versus Freiburg 2-1 in the Pokal. So, 3 years in a row, we are out of the cup. Let's go through the tactics, my thoughts on Thomas Tuchel's team, the new Bayern coach. But let's also go into a rant after I talk about the tactics and the picture analysis on the Bayern board and the Bayern decision making, because they thought that we sacked Nagelsmann in order to not lose control of the treble. Yet we're out of the cup now. So anyway, let's go through the match tactics. So you see here on the screen, it's this weird formation because it was the same formation and team versus Dortmund, but the key change was João Cancelo came in at left back for Alphonso Davies, which meant that Bayern played with this back three. And one tactical idea this provided, and it worked a few times in the first half, was Cancelo drops into midfield. So he's acting as a number 6 alongside Joshua Kimmich, and therefore Leroy Sane, one thing I was happy about is Leroy Sane was playing on the left-hand side, and it meant that he was playing quite far wide, like he played for in Man City in his Man City days. So this was quite good to see, but it meant that Cancelo played those balls into Sane in behind, like balls from here to here, for example, and then Sane runs onto it. Because that Cancelo's coming inside, it's dragging defenders inside, so Sane was in space out wide. In the back three, it was a back three, and Coman also staying far out wide. Kimmich really as a lone 6 or paired with Cancelo, which meant that Goretzka and Muller were both acting as number 10s, Choupo up front, but Choupo was quite isolated in this game, and he was quite stagnant, not creating many chances. Muller had a chance, he should have scored. Coman was quite stagnant. Sane got into a few good positions, but doesn't release the ball, or doesn't do enough when he was in positions like this. One time he dribbled across the field, but then wasn't able to shoot, for example, so he was ineffective. And it was the theme of Bayern's performances. There were lots of player mistakes from the players, so even though Tuchel in some ways set up the team correctly, Bayern more than had the chances to score, and Freiburg were lucky to score their goals. We can talk about the tactics in this way. In defense, however, it went back to a back 4, so it was more like this: Kimmich and Goretzka as 2 holding mids, and Bayern pressing like this. So let's go now into the pictures, just a few pictures, because then I'll talk about the Bayern board and my thoughts on that. So in terms of Bayern, this is what I was talking about. Initially, Bayern have this three at the back lineup, and you see Cancelo's gotten into number 6 position. Sane is very far out wide, so there's through ball opportunities here which were found. And you can also see the shape of the Bayern players: Cancelo and Kimmich as 6s, then 2 number 10s, striker, right wing. See, Muller and Coman have interchanged in this scenario, but the structure of the team remains the same. And now let's talk about 4-2-3-1 in defense. A clear 4 at the back. In defense, you have the 2, you have Muller, you have the 2 wingers. So it was just to show the clear system that Bayern were playing in this regard of a 4-2-3-1 in defense. Then now I have a few question mark moments, because there are just many question marks to do with the team performance in this game. Like in this scenario, yes, it was a great long shot from the Freiburg player, but how is Jan Sommer not getting closer to the ball? There's still like a meter distance between Sommer in net and the ball, which shouldn't be happening from a 30-yard shot, no matter how good the shot is. And this is a story of Jan Sommer's performances at Bayern, because he keeps he hasn't had any spectacular performances. Yes, he's been solid, but it's not been great from Sommer in the goal. And this is just another example. Maybe Neuer would have saved it. Maybe Sommer is a liability at his 6'1" short stature for a goalkeeper. Also to talk about, we have Muller. So I was raving about Muller last game because of his great performance, but In this one, this is a wide open net. This whole net is open. Keeper is overexposed here, but Muller hits it straight at Ginter, and therefore we don't score. We don't go 2-1 up and probably win the game from this position. So Muller and the rest of the attack, Coman, Sane, they really needed to take their chances, and it was a theme of Bayern's game to not be taking the chances that they could have been. Finally, let's talk about Musiala. So it's a game of individual mistakes, and Musiala concedes the penalty here, but this is before the ball's even been hit by the opposition attacker, and you see Musiala already has the arms flailing about. He has the arms up, and it comes with a lack of experience. But you can't have the arms up like that in the penalty box, and yes, the ball gets hit at him, but he shouldn't have had the arms out. It doesn't matter if he needs to protect his face. It would be a penalty if the ball hits his hand, so it was poor play from Musiala. He'll get some experience from this, but it was overall just a poor decision, not putting his body on the line for the team, so quite disappointing. But it is what it is. Musiala will learn from it, and we move. So that's all there is to say about the tactics. Tactics were okay, not the greatest. Cancelo for Davies is a big downgrade because Davies provides more width on the left-hand side. We don't need an inverted left-back. And Cancelo was also hitting so many numerous misplaced passes. He always tries the complicated pass instead of the simple option, which may have been better. So that's I think that's a reason why Bayern lost. Bayern also... So the tactics maybe not great, the subs maybe not great. Why bring on Muller up front when we know he's no good there? Maybe put Gnabry there. He has more striker instincts than Muller, for example. But I digress. But while the tactics maybe not great, the substitutions not great from Tuchel. Also, some blame must be attached to the players like Muller, like Musiala, for these individual mistakes, like Sommer perhaps, which have cost Bayern. Yes, Freiburg didn't have that many chances. Now, let's talk about the board a bit. So, the board were saying that Nagelsmann was compromising Bayern's hopes of the treble. And now, 2 games into Tuchel's reign, and I like Tuchel and I back him, but Bayern are already out of the cup, so the treble's already gone. So, it is quite disturbing, and it is shining bad light on the decision to fire Nagelsmann at such an early stage, given that Bayern are now out of the treble chances. And I wonder what they thought of this game, because yes, we established the players didn't do that well, but it was also partly the coach's fault. And also, it was shades of Nagelsmann's later games versus, for example, Villarreal in the Champions League, when we were facing that low block. In this game also, we weren't able to create many chances versus Freiburg, and we weren't able to penetrate that low block like we had done versus Villarreal. But Nagelsmann kind of seemed to have finally found out how to figure out how to break down these low blocks, and then we sack him. So anyway, question marks asked of the board, question marks asked of Tuchel, asked of the players after this game. It's disappointing to be out of the cup, but who knows, maybe in the future it'll mean our players are more rested. So it is what it is. Goodbye.